Well, hello everybody and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday only here on Top Shelf Oldies and YouTube. I want to welcome you to the August 7th, 2021 Vinyl Treasure Show. We're back to the 1950s and early 60s. Original vinyl vocal group Harmony 45s out of my collection. And welcome on this hot summer day here, at least in New York City. We opened up tonight's 50s edition with a great tenor saxman. I'm sure many of you know this saxman from Greensboro, North Carolina. One of the many tunes he wrote and recorded for the Mercury record label, Mr. Red Prysock. Red Prysock from May 1955. Song entitled The Horn Blows. I was playing my horn there for a little bit, but sit back for the next 3 hours. Got some cool 45, lots of requests tonight. Thank you all for your requests. You can send them to me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. Well, let's start it off here. Well, this is actually one of my picks too. I got a few of my picks involved also, but after the Flamingos, they left Checker Records. They signed with Decca Records, maybe figuring signing with a major label, they may have some national hits. But alas, it didn't happen for the group. But that doesn't mean that they didn't have any great songs on the Decca label. And here's one. It's actually their first of 5 on Decca. It was written by Nate Nelson, but it features Tommy Hunt on lead. We're going to open up tonight with an up-tempo by the Flamingos from July 1957 on the Decca label. It's called Let's Make Up.
I can see that you're still in love with me. Well, baby, my little darling, let's make up. Yeah, whenever you meet, I'm walking down the street, my heart skips the beat. Let's make up. Well, now you know, baby, that I love you so. You know, baby, you didn't have to go. You know, baby, that's plain to see. Come back, baby, where you know you ought to be. I can tell, I can feel that you love me still. Well, baby, my little darling, let's make up. Whoa. Baby, let's make up. 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 Make up, make up, make up, make up. Well, baby, my little darling, let's make up. Yeah, let's make up. Oh, let's make up. Yeah, let's make up.
And we open up the vocal portion here with the great Flamingos. Flamingos on the Decca label. That's their first release on the Decca label. Too bad it really didn't do anything for them. The other side's good too. I think The Ladder of Love, that's a nice tune. But that's the Flamingos from July 1957. Tommy Hunt on lead. At this time, the group consisted of Zeke Carey, Nate Nelson, Tommy Hunt, Terry Johnson, and Paul David Wilson. And of course, Tommy Hunt, he would go on to a successful solo career, probably best known for a 61 release on Scepter. Maybe some of you guys know it, a song entitled Human. But those are the Flamingos. Let's Make Up on the Decca label, July 1957. Let's move it 1 year up to 1958 here. A request for listener Tom Shaughnessy, this group from Queens, New York. This is their second release on Sid Nathan's Deluxe label, co-written by the lead singer. His name is Larry Pendergrass. Larry Pendergrass, by request for Tom. We go back to June 1958. Give a listen to the Chanters on Deluxe. Their tune called Row Your Boat.
Row, yeah, 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 row, yeah, 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 row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Won't you come on with me, baby, and life could be a dream.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Oh, come on with me, baby, and life could be a dream. I love you, oh, I really do. I really love you, really true. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Oh, can't you see my baby? How sweet it would be to have you, my darling, just you and me, you and me. As we go rowing by the castles that tower in the sky, I will look into your eyes and tell you that you were meant to be my bride. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Oh, can't you see my baby? How sweet it would be to have you, my darling, just you and me, you and me. As we go rowing by the castles that tower in the sky, I will look into your eyes and tell you that you were meant to be my bride. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Oh, come on with me, baby, and life could be a dream. I love you, oh, I really do. I really love you, really true.
That's the sound of the Chanters here on the Vinyl Treasure Shows by request for Tom Shaughnessy. June 1958, that's their second release on the deluxe label Row Your Boat. Larry Pendergrass, he's the lead singer on that. Kitty Leeds here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, you know Slim Rose, owner of Times Square Records, so instrumental with the revival of the music in the early 1960s, with a number of groups too, especially this group, the Chanters. He got Sid Nathan to re-release all their 45s, and actually the second time around, a re-release of their 58 recording No 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 became the group's biggest hit in 1961. And you got to thank Slim Rose for that, and also for the revival of the music. I say Slim Rose, very important. Then also the Time Capsule Show, they were another one, that another established show, and all the others really. And then again in the 70s with Gus Gossard, that's when I got involved in the music in 1971, 72. But I was always into it because of my aunt. She was really instrumental with shaping my musical taste. Well, you know, we count down the music chronologically here on the 50s and early 60s edition. I play the records by year, and got a lot of requests tonight, as I mentioned. So we're going to open up in 1954 now with a request for listener Emnon that we welcome back from vacation. He was away for 2 weeks in Arizona. Me and Barbara loved Arizona when we went there to visit the Grand Canyon a number of years ago. But so we welcome Amnon back, and he sent me his request early before his vacation, and he requested this singer, Grady Chapman. Grady Chapman, he was sang lead with the Robins for a number of releases, and had his own solo efforts with and without groups. And Amnon requested this one on John Dolphin's Money label, where he's backed up by a group called the Suedes. They're not the Robins. This was another group that got together to back him up. And it's a nice rendition of the Ivory Joe Hunter song, which was covered by oh so many artists. But this is by request for Amnon. We go back to November 1954. Grady Chapman and the Suedes on the Money label, and his rendition of the tune I Need You So. This one going out to Amnon.
I need you so to keep me happy. I can't have you. I cannot go on. I need your arms around me tightly. Yes, I miss them nightly when you're not at home. When day is done, I miss you so. I'd lie and wait to hear your knock upon the door. When you leave me, I'll try not to worry. Come back in a hurry, 'cause I need you so.
As by request for Amnon there, the great Grady Chapman and the Suedes on that one, November 1954. John Dolphin's Money record label, a nice rendition of the tune I Need You So. I'm going to play another rendition of that next week, another request that I put off till next week, but you have to stay tuned for that. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening, welcoming you to the Vinyl Treasure Show. If you're new to the show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the like button, and also click the bell to get notifications. Let's continue here. We stay in 1954 with a request for George Tompkins. He requested the debut single for the Cookies. Yes, the same Cookies that had those big hits in the 1960s, but they really began back in 1954. It was a trio at that time, consisted of Beulah Robertson, Darlene McRae, and Dorothy Jones, and they recorded this for the Aladdin Studios in New York City, and came out on Aladdin subsidiary Lamp Records, co-written by Jesse Stone, who actually gave them their name, the Cookies. This one by request for George Tompkins. We go back to September 1954 for the Cookies on the Lamp label. It's called Don't Let Go.
Don't let go. Today the love light in your eyes refuses to shine, and your indifferent kisses say you're no longer mine. My heart will break into 1,000 pieces, I know. So hold me tight and don't let go. My love is yours if there's a doubt. Right now's the time to find it out. The night is short, so kiss me, love. Love and please and hold and squeeze me strong. To have you always in
As by request for George Tompkins there, those are the Cookies, early Cookies. Yes, the same group, Christian, that had Chains, but much later. Of course, they had a couple of members added, a couple of the gals they left, but this record should be included along with all the Cookies records. September '54. It's on the Aladdin subsidiary Lamp Records. A song entitled "Don't Let Go." Jesse Stone, he was the one that gave them their name, and actually he was the one that brought them over to Atlantic Records, because after Lamp they had a couple of releases, I think, on the Atlantic label. I'll get them on here on a future Vinyl Treasure show. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure show. We move into 1955 with a request for Warren, as this group is out of New Orleans. Actually, Warren saw that this record recently sold on eBay for $2,300, and actually Warren requested a couple records I didn't have originally, some cool R&B records, but he said, "Johnny, do you have this record? It just sold for $2,300 on eBay." And I said, "Well, wait a minute, I didn't pay that much. I mean, this record is a lot, but I didn't think it was that much." But anyway, this is this group first recorded as the Pelicans on the Imperial label in 1954. Then with their other Imperial releases, they changed their name to the Kids. Now here, this is, I think, the A-side of the song, which I prefer the B-side, and I think that's why that record brought so much money for the B-side. But it's funny because on my copy of promo, it was out of a radio station. It says "Do not air," so they didn't want them to play this side for some reason. But anyway, let's give it a spin here. This is by request for Warren, and the group is called The Kids, February 1955 on Imperial, and the song is called "Drunk, Drunk, Drunk" for Warren.
Well, I've got a girl, she's a nicotine fiend, a wine drinker, bootlegger, everything. Well, she wears a coat that she calls mink. Well, it looks like a cat all dipped in ink. I say, drunk, drunk and Mabel. Well, now she settled to my house to climb on. I was over two chairs down a phony telephone. I can't understand how she remains on earth. She should have been doing since the day of her birth. I'm singing drunk, drunk and Mabel. Well, she's drunk, 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 drunk and Mabel. 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 She's drunk, drunk and Mabel. She wears a coat that she calls mink. Oh, well, it looks like a cat all dipped in ink. I say drunk, drunk and Mabel. Well, she's drunk, 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 drunk and Mabel. 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 She's drunk, drunk and Mabel.
As That's by request for Warren Russell. Warren Russell, the kids. The Kids, I think that's the intended A-side of the 45. A very cool jump there by the Kids, February 1955. It's on the Imperial label. Drunk is the name of that one. I guess the radio station, I don't know which one it was, they didn't want them to air that, probably for that title, but who knows? A lot of great topics in the 1950s that these groups would sing about, that is for sure. Let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show, and on the last 50 show, I played a rare 45 by the Buddies on the Glory label. They're a group out of Baltimore, Maryland, the same group that recorded as the Four Buddies on the Savoy label. The side I featured was called I Waited, and it was listener George Tompkins. He asked Johnny G if I can flip the 45 over, so we're going to do that right now and send it out to George Tompkins here. The tune written by the lead singer of the group. His name is Larry Harrison. Larry Harrison on lead. We send this one out to George. It's with Abby Baker and his orchestra. March 1955. The Buddies on Glory. It's called I Stole Your Heart.
I stole your heart, then drifted away. Should have known from the start that it wouldn't pay. You said goodbye, then you were gone. Now, oh, how I cry, for I'm all alone. They say when you're in love, in your eyes there's a glow. What was I thinking of?
I swear I don't know.
I stole your heart, then drifted away. Should have known from the start that it wouldn't pay. They say when you're in love, in your eyes there's a glow. What was I thinking of?
I swear I don't know.
I stole your heart, then drifted away. Should have known from the start that it wouldn't pay.
That's Larry Harrison and the Buddies there by request for George Tompkins. March 1955 release. It's on the Glory label. I Stole Your Heart. It's not an easy 45 to find. One of the last records I need, or at least one of the harder records to find on the Glory record label. That is a cool tune. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, we are in the year 1955. And another side I played on the last 50s show was by the great Solitaires, their fifth release on High Weiss's Old Town record label. It was called What Did She Say? But both sides of all the Solitaires releases are excellent in my opinion, and I also love this B-side. And I featured my copy on the fancy Old Town logo, that old style logo, because originally it came, I think originally the first press is on the block print, but they had paper lying around, or it's the cusp, I think. I forget. I think it's the cusp of the changeover, possibly. But anyway, it's a great tune. Herman Dunham, a.k.a. Curtis. Herman Dunham, Herman Curtis, whichever one you choose. He went by both names. He's on lead here, April 55. The great Solitaires on Old Town with their tune called My Dear.
My dear, how I wish that you were here. I can't wait until you're near. I just want your love, my dear. How I wish that you were here. I can't wait until you're near. I just want your love. Oh, we must part. You have my heart. Keep it with you and always be true. Someday, somewhere, I'll say a prayer. Let's blend our eager lips again. My dear, oh, how I wish that you were here. I can't wait until you're here, 'cause I love you so.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, the great Solitaires. That's the flip side of What Did She Say? Song entitled My Dear. Herman Dunham, Herman Curtis on lead there, April 1955 on High Weiss's Old Town record label. We move on here, but we stay in 1955 with a request for Daniel Kubacki. He requested the great Robins. We heard Grady Chapman earlier, but he's not on lead for this one here. But it's on Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller's Spark label, and they also wrote the tune. I think they wrote most of their songs, if not all of them. But this is the group's third of 6. It features Carl Gardner on lead for this one. We go back to January 1955 for the Robins on the Spark label. This is going out to Daniel. Song entitled If Teardrops Were Kisses.
If teardrops were
If the sun was a sign, I say hello to love instead of goodbye.
If heartaches were
Pleasure, if my sorrows were joy, life would be an easy game. with this silly game. Back on the shelf. 'Cause when you play with make-believe, you're only fooling yourself.
The teardrops are
Teardrops and the heartache is pain, and it looks like I'll never be in love again. Bong, 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 oh,
teardrops are
teardrops and the heartache is pain, and it looks like I'll never be in love again. Bong, 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 bong.
As by request for Daniel Kubacki. Daniel Kubacki requested the great Robins there. The Robins with Carl Gardner on lead, January 1955, If Teardrops Were Kisses. That one there on a Lieber and Stoller Spark record label. Now, Lieber and Stoller would later sell their Spark label to Atlantic Records, and their last single on Spark, Smokey Joe's Cafe, would also be released on the new Atlantic subsidiary, was called Atco Records. Then, of course, you know, the Robins kind of broke up there and became the Coasters. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Actually, Joe Shacatano he ended up getting a survey from YouTube about the Johnny G show. I wonder if anybody else out there received a survey about the Vinyl Treasure Show and how much you enjoyed it. I just hope you guys do. If you do get that survey, I hope you will give me a good plus and tell your friends all about the Vinyl Treasure Show, this unique way of playing original vinyl 45s. You can see the records. That's really cool for a collector. I wish so much if I can go back in the 1970s when I used to tune into all the shows to see the records. And if you're a collector, I'm telling you, especially a young collector, how exciting it is to see the records and eventually find them. And you know what you're looking for, because so many cool looking labels. Anyway, as Johnny G gets off on a tangent, let's continue here. And speaking of Joe Shacatano, he requested this next 45 as we go to Philadelphia, PA for this group. And this group did two on Morty Kraft's Melba label. This is their first. A tune written by Frank Slay and Bob Crew. Of course, they had some pretty big hits in their heyday, mainly starting with, you know, the Rays and Silhouettes, but so many others, really. But this is an early Frank Slay and Bob Crew 45. Now, this group is called Four of a Kind. It features Sal Massey, M-A-S-I, on lead. So we send this one out to Joe Shacatano, October 1956 on the Melba label. These are Four of a Kind, and the name of their tune is called Our Song. That's in parentheses, dedicated to you. And this is going out. We'll dedicate it to Joe Shacatano.
From Betty to John, from Harry to Jane, and all of the gang, a song dedicated to you, dedicated to you, dedicated to do everything for you eternally. I'll always be dedicated to you,
dedicated to dreams, elevated it seems, floating high on a cloud above, dedicated to love. So won't you have them play our song? Wish they'd play it all night long. Want the whole wide world to know you belong to me. Every day that I live, dedicated to give all my loving heart forever true, dedicated to you. So won't you have them play our song? Wish they'd play it all night long. Want the whole wide world to know you belong to me. Every day that I live, dedicated to give all my loving heart forever true, dedicated to you.
As by request for Joe Shacatano there, those are the Four of a Kind. Four of a Kind on Morty Craft's Melba label, the same label that the Willows recorded for, and some other groups too. The October 56 release, Our Song Dedicated to You. Now, the group had an earlier release on the Rex label and later ones, believe it or not, on the Chancellor, Cameo, and Beaumark labels. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. We are in the year 1956, and on the last 50s show, I played the sixth release by the Diablos. It was on Devorah Brown's Fortune record label out of Detroit, Michigan. It was called You Are. Well, I couldn't file this one back unless I played the flip side here, written by the lead singer of the group. You know him. His name is Nolan Strong. We go back to April 1956 for Nolan Strong and his Diablos on the Fortune record label. It's called You're the Only Girl, Dolores.
You said you love me, and with me you wanna be, but I laughed in your face and walked away so carefree, not knowing someday that I'd have to say,
You're the only girl, Dolores, for me.
now that you're leaving, I realize that I was wrong. Now that you're leaving, I feel so all alone. Give me a chance to save this romance.
You're the only girl, Dolores, for me.
I still remember how I laughed in your face and walked away with my head in the air. I had too much pride to turn around and let you see the tears in my eyes. Come, let me hold you and feel you so near. Come, let me kiss you to see just how it feels. These are a few things that would make my heart sing.
Dolores for me.
I still remember how I laughed in your face and walked away with my head in the air. I had too much pride to turn around and let you see the tears in my eyes. Come, let me hold you and feel you so near. Come, let me kiss you to see just how it feels. These are a few things that would make my heart sing.
You're the only girl, Dolores, for me. 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 You're the only girl for me.
That's the sound of Nolan Strong and the Diablos there, April 1956 on those hissy Fortune records. It's like hit or miss, really, on Fortune records, that is for sure. But that is the side called You're the Only Girl, Dolores. Doesn't say for me. It doesn't, but I think the first press of that is on the Maroon label, if I'm not mistaken. I have it somewhere here in the box, but I'm trying to get my collection organized. I've been cleaning records. I think I did a show a couple weeks ago cleaning my 45, so I'm going through the boxes. I cleaned some more yesterday. Then I had to stop to put the show together. But let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We stay in 1956 with a request for listener Tom Shaughnessy as we head to Chicago, Illinois, to Eli Toscano's Abco record label for a group called the Ripcords, and no, Christian, not the same group that recorded those surf records on the Columbia label. Totally different group. And this one this song written by the lead singer of the group. His name is Leon Arnold. This is by request for Tom Shaughnessy, June 1956. The Ripcords on Abco. It's called I Love You the Most.
Baby, I want you so. Baby, you should know. Kiss me once and then again. Kiss me over and over again. Oh, baby, I love you so. Oh, you know, I love you the most, do I love you the most, do I love you the most, do I love you the most.
As by request for Tom Shaughnessy there, the Rip Chords. Rip Chords there, Leon Arnold on lead, June 1956 release on the APCO label, I Love You the Most is the name of the tune. Now, APCO Records would later on become the Cobra label. I think they switched in August of 1956, became Cobra Records. Lots of cool blues and group records on the Cobra label. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. It's the all 50s and early 60s edition. Hope you're digging on the tune. If you're new to the YouTube chat, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the like button. Let's continue here. Couple more in 1956. Here we go back to Pennsylvania. This time McKeeves, is it McKeeves? No, McKeesport. That's it. McKeesport, Pennsylvania for a request for Joe Shacatano. Now this 45 would be picked up by Glory Records, I think in the beginning of 1956, which I do have, but it all first came out on Elmer Willet label. And Joe requested this group called the 3Js. The 3Js is with the Cavalier Orchestra. This one from December 1956. The 3Js on Willette. And their tune called Always Stay in Love with Me.
I'm so much in love with you. Always stay in love with me. Never find somebody new. For the heart I give so willingly is so much in love with you. Always stay in love with me. Love me more and more each day. Always hold me, kiss me tenderly. Never, never go away. Within your arms, there's a warm and cozy place. My paradise lies within your sweet embrace. Always stay in love with me. Never say that we are through. And I promise, dear, that I will be always so in love with you. Within your arms, there's a warm and cozy place. My paradise lies within your sweet embrace. Always stay in love with me. Never say that we are through. And I promise, dear, that I will be always so in love with you. So much in love with you.
As by request for Joe Shacatano, the 3Js. 3Js, I featured it on the original label, Willette Records, also pressed on the Glory label. December 56 release, the 3Js with Always Stay in Love with Me is the name of the tune. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, a couple weeks ago, I featured the great Channels on the Whirling Disc record label, played the B-side to their second of 4 on Whirling Disc. It was called Stars in the Sky. It was Darrell Letts. Listeners Darrell Letts and Andrew Turner asked if I could flip the 45 over, and this was one of my Aunt Mary's favorites by the group, and this one written by the lead singer, that be Earl Lewis. Earl Lewis here, going out to Andrew and Darrell, November 56. The Channels on Whirling Disc. It's a classic. It's called The Gleam in Your Eyes. That's the great Earl Lewis and the Channels by request for Andrew and Darrell, November 1956. On the Whirling Disc record label, Bobby Robinson's Whirling Disc record label. If you want to collect the label, you can collect that label, because there's not that many releases on the label, but you probably can get them all. I don't think they're impossible all to get, but a couple may be a little bit difficult, but you should be able to. The Channels there with The Gleam in Your Eyes. Johnny G here, hopefully giving you the gleam in your eyes with these cool 45s. Let's continue here. And up next, a vocal quartet that recorded 2 on Saul Rabinowitz's Baton label. Let's give a listen to their first, written by group member Sylvester Bradford, but it features Cortez Franklin on lead. We go back to May 1956. Give a listen to the Suburbans. These are the Suburbans on Baton. It's called I Remember.
I remember that lovely day in spring when you promised all the love to bring. Oh, oh, darling, how could you forget? I just be mine. Now that you're back, you're acting mighty strange. Oh, tell me, baby,
Baby, did you change your mind?
I remember you used to hold me tight, such good loving until the broad daylight. Oh, oh, darling, how could you forget? Just be mine. Now that you're back, you're acting mighty strange. Oh, tell me, baby,
Baby, did you change your mind?
I remember you used to hold me tight, such good loving until the broad daylight. Oh, oh, darling, how could you forget?
That's the first of two for the Suburbans on the Baton record label, May 1956, song entitled I Remember. Cortez Franklin, he's on lead, and I also enjoy their follow-up to this, Leave My Gal Alone. I like that record by the Suburbans. Let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Here's a request for Joe Shacatano. This group is out of Brooklyn, New York, recording for Eddie Heller's Rainbow record label. They're called The Winners, and this features Donnie Sehested. Is it Sehested? Is it Donnie Sehested? I think that's how you spell it here. But he's the lead singer here, and this one from March of 1956. Give a listen to The Winners. The Winners on the Rainbow label. This is going out to Joe Shacatano. It's called Can This Be Love?
I looked into your eyes. I knew I cared for you. The sparkle that told me you were true. I get that same pull and chill when you're by my side. I wonder, can this be love? Like a dream come true, but all I'm wondering, day by day, will this feeling fade away? I wonder, can this be love? Yes, I wonder, day by day, my friends, coming back to me. We'll wonder, day by day, my friends, if this really can be love. I never felt this way. It's so hard to just like a dream come true. But all I'm wondering, day by day, will this feeling fade away? I wonder, can this
request for Joe Shacatano on Eddie Heller's Rainbow record label. Those are the winners. The winners from March 1956. Can This Be Love is the name of the tune. They're liking that one there in the YouTube chat room. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. It's my all 50s and early 60s edition here. We count down the music chronologically here, and we move into 1957. Now we head back out to California with a request for Daniel Kubacki. Now, prior to this release, this group recorded for other labels, Dutone, Mercury, and Wing, and I guess they wanted to try their hands out with Atlantic Records to try to have another hit, but of course they never really had another hit like Earth Angel, unfortunately, but they tried, and they had some good records too. So anyway, but this is a request by Daniel on the Atlantic label, and the A side of this is a song called Pledge of Love, but Daniel requested the B side of this, which features Dexter Tisby on lead. We go back to March of 1957 and give a listen to the Penguins here. The Penguins on Atlantic. This is going out to Daniel. It's called I Knew I'd Fall in Love.
Fall in love. Before I met you. 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 I knew I'd fall in love long before I met you. Long before I met you, I knew I'd fall in love. I swore by stars above long before I met you. I would not forget you. I knew I'd fall in love. My dreams come true when I fell for you. I'm thankful that you love me too. Please believe I knew I'd fall in love long before I met you. Long before I met you, I knew I'd fall in love. Oh, 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 yeah. Before I met you, before I met you. Before I met you, before I met you. That you love me too. Please believe now I knew I'd fall in love long before I met you. Long before I met you, I knew I'd fall in love. Before I met you, before I met you, in love.
Those are the Penguins there. The Penguins by request for Daniel Kubacki on the Atlantic label, March 1957. I Knew I'd Fall in Love is the name of that one there. Dexter Tisby on lead for that one. We continue here now in the last 50 show. Played a request for Christian Rays by the Personalities, a group from the Bronx, New York, featuring 12-year-old Ralph Molina on lead. The song was called Whoa, Whoa, Baby. I think Christian also requested the flip side, as did, listener Darrell Letts. And this is with the Chico Wilshire and his orchestra. This is on the Safari label by request for Darrell and Christian here. September 1957, the Personalities with their tune called Yours to Command. B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's by request for Christian and for Daryl, September 1957. That's the flip side of Whoa Whoa Baby, song entitled Yours to Command. The Personalities. Personalities on the Safari label with a 12-year-old Ralph Molina on lead. We continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Up next, a request for listener Amnon. He requested the Great Dells on Vivian Carter's VJ record label. It's their 7th release for VJ Records. Actually, both sides of this 45 are excellent, but the A-side charted number 8 regionally on WAAF in Chicago, Illinois. It features Marvin Jr. on lead. It's going out to Amnon here, October 57, The Dells on VJ. It's called Time Makes You Change.
Time marches on marches time. Ding dong, sha.
Well, time can make you change your mind. It make you laugh, make you cry. It make you almost die. Whoa, time. It makes the young man old. It makes the old man bold. It makes you run cold.
I've been a fool boy, baby, and I broke the rules for you, baby. Well, I'm in love with you, baby. Well,
Stop right there. Come on here and let the time. It makes you change your mind. It makes you laugh, makes you cry. It makes you almost die. Makes a young man old. Makes an old man bold. Makes the blood run cold.
me and my baby were walking, standing on the corner and talking. I said, baby, baby, I got you on my mind. Yeah,
Holding Johnny, you know what every time I spend time, it makes you change your mind. It makes you laugh, make you cry. It makes you almost die. Yeah. La 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 la
October 1957 release there for the Great Dells by request for Amnon. Time makes you change. Oh yes, that is so true. It is. Vivian Carter's VJ record label there, the Great Dells. They do so many great records. I still need their Tell the World. I don't have that on a 45 or a 78, so that's one of my wants for sure. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show for a request for listener George Tompkins. Now, according to some posts on 45 Cap, the singer is from Gates, Pennsylvania. He was born September 9th, 1913, and actually that puts him around 44 years old when he recorded this back in 1957. It's a song he wrote, and Nick Nicola mentions relatively unknown record, but group collectors know it. It was in the Kreider Guide. I collected the Kreider Guide. I didn't know the record, but I bought it, and it's a good tune. This is my request for George Tompkins, 1957, Billy Lewis. Billy Lewis, he wrote the tune here. It's on the Flowlou, FLO-LOU record label, and it's by request for George. It's called I Won't Tell a Soul, parentheses, What You Did to Me.
Darling, you broke my heart.
and left me so blue. But I want you to know, honey, well, I won't tell a soul what you did to me, nor will I disclose how it happened. Since you went away, all your letters would say, sweetheart, I found another. I won't tell a soul how you hurt me. I won't tell a soul I'm blue. But what I'll say to you, it will never, no, never do. Although you said you loved me, and your love would never die, I always felt that someday it all would be a lie. So I won't tell a soul that it all came true the moment you left me behind. But I won't tell a soul you told me you were mine, all mine. Although you said you loved me, and your love would never die, the moment you left me behind. But I won't tell a soul you told me you were mine, all mine.
As by request for George Tompkins there, Billy Lewis and an uncredited group on the Flo-Lu label, 1957 release. I Won't Tell a Soul, parentheses, What You Did to Me is the name of the tune. And this Billy Lewis, he also mentioned in that 45 Cat information that he was also an organist and pianist, maybe playing organ on that tune there. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show. And up next, a request for Nick Nicola, a very rare 45 on Steve Samuel's High Tone record label out of Harlem, New York. I think the group is also out of Harlem, New York. They're called The Lyrics, and they're not affiliated with any other Lyrics group, but this was their only release, and both sides are great on this record, as also Nick also thinks that because he requested both sides of this 45. But this week I'll be featuring the A side here. It's with Ray's Combo. They're providing the instrumentation. This one from 1957. These are The Lyrics by request for Nick Nicola on the High Tone label. This is the A side, the up-tempo side. It's called I'm in Love.
Well, she's so sweet.
Can't you see I love her, she loves me? Well, I'm in love with a girl who's out of this world. Can't you see she's meant for me? Well, she's mine, and I'll never, never let her go.
Those are the lyrics there by request for Nick Nicola there, 1957, on Steve Samuel's high-tone record label. I'm in Love is the name of the tune. They also backed up a high-tone recording artist, Georgia Harris, I think on that cool Christmas tune she does, Let's Exchange Hearts for Christmas. I think they back her up on that. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening as we continue here. Those of you that have a Facebook account, you can go check my page, John Galindo. I usually post scans of a bunch of the records that I'm playing tonight, probably the more rarer records, but sometimes I put some hits in there too, but you can see them. I think I posted 12 records on my Facebook page, but you can check it out. But let's continue here. We got a request here for young collector Christian. Christian requested this group out of Philadelphia, PA. They had a big #1 record called At the Hop. But Christian wants to hear the B-side of that. The B-side of that hit written by David White, and this one arranged by the label owner Artie Singer. Of course, you may own this on the ABC Paramount record label, but the first press locally came out on Artie Singer's Singular label. And this is by request for Christian. It features Danny Rapp on lead. October 1957, he requested Danny and the Juniors and their tune called Sometimes.
Sometimes when I'm all alone, feeling kind of low, you come round to cheer me up because you love me so.
As by request for young collector Christian Reyes requested Danny and the Juniors. Danny and the Juniors, a B-side to their big #1 hit At the Hop from called Sometimes. Actually, on the ABC Paramount press, it's called Sometimes parentheses When I'm All Alone. But the first press of that on the singular label is just listed as Sometimes, released in October of 1957. And the A-side of this record has a countdown, at least on my copy. It has a countdown. There are other singulars that don't have the countdown. They came out later, but the true first presses of this singular 45, they have a countdown at the beginning of At the Hop. The guy goes, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and then it comes in with At the Hop. But anyway, those of you listening on the YouTube channel, I signed out of Facebook on my computer. So probably those messages I've been getting and the likes that maybe were coming in on the pictures there, they were somehow interfering with the YouTube. It never did it before, but I have it on my cell phone. So I have Facebook on my cell phone. In case anybody needs to get back to me, you can actually message me on Facebook Messenger, and I'll get your message there. But let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We move into the year 1958 with a request for George Tompkins. We go back to Philadelphia, PA, as this group kicked off the Len record label, Len Records, owned by Buddy Caldwell, a sister label to his V-Tone record label. And actually, Len was named after Buddy's middle name, which was Lenny. But anyway, George requested both sides of this 45, so next week we'll hear the flip. But tonight we'll hear the A-side from 1958. They're called the Marquees, spelled Marquees. The Marquees on Len, going out to George. It's called Say Hey.
Say hey, say hey, baby. Will you please be mine? You know that I want you. Will you please be mine? You little pretty baby, the way you walk, little pretty baby, the way you talk. I've been watching you day and night.
Pretty baby, that way you did not
say hey, baby. Will you please be mine? Every time I look into your eyes, it makes my heart realize that I want you to know that I love you. Will you please be mine? Will you be mine?
As by request for George Tompkins there, those are the Marquees. Marquees from 1958. Say Hey is the name of the tune. Came out on Buddy Caldwell's Len record label. I have nothing on, Tim. Let me just make sure. So I signed out of Facebook, so there can't be anything there. It's not like I'm getting emails, unless it's your chat room, Tim. Maybe it's your chat room interfering with my thing. I don't know, Tim. I got to check it out. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Here's a rare 45, a request for Nick Nicola, this group out of let me see. Charlene put the phonetic spelling here. Aliquippa. That's how you say it. Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. And it's their only release. It's a very rare 45, I got to tell you. This one was not a cheapo for Johnny G. It came out on a label called Vel, V-E-L Records. The group is called the Vel Tones. And The lead singer here, his name is Willie Glenn. By the way, he later on joined the Dell Vikings for a bit. But he is singing lead here from 1958, going out to Nick Nicola, the Veltones, VEL-TONES on Vel Records. It's called Broken Heart.
Oh, broken heart, please come back to me. We'll find our way of love again. Of love forget you. Forever I'll always love you. So let's pray and make our vow and mend our broken hearts now. Broken heart, broken heart, broken heart. Please come back to me. Broken heart, please come back to me. Now that I'm broken hearted too. So let's pray and make our vow and mend our broken heart.
Those are the Veltones by request for Nick Nicola, a very rare 45 on the Vel label, 1958. Willie Glenn on lead. Broken Heart is the name of the tune. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and we go back for a request for young collector Christian. He requested this group out of Harlem, New York. Their previous 4 releases came out on Paul Winley's Winley record label, but their 5th release came out on the Winley subsidiary Cyclone Records. It features Lenny McKay on lead. This one from June 1958. This is a classic. Used to hear this quite a bit on oldies radio back in the 1970s. Give a listen to The Jesters by request for Christian on the Cyclone label and their tune called I Laughed.
Boom, 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 boom,
Oh, how I laughed when she told me that you loved me so. the funny thing it was, oh, she cried and I lied. Do you remember the night I held you in my arms and then I kissed you under the tree? I know you get a kick out of me, but I just laughed when she told me that you loved me so, and never, never let me go. But I just laughed at her. Yeah. Do you remember the night I held you in my arms and then I kissed you under the tree? I know you get a kick out
As by request for Christian there, The Jesters. The Jesters from June 1958. It's on the Cyclone record label, song entitled I Laugh. Lenny McKay is on lead there, and the Jesters' other lead singer, the one with the high falsetto voice, his name is Adam Jackson. The Jesters, a great group. All their records are excellent. Both sides of their 45s are excellent. Even the flip side of that one is good. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening as we continue here, and I have Charlene researching what possibly might be causing those pinging sounds, so hopefully she will get back to me. But let's continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Here's a request for Nat Papagallo. We go back to Harlem, New York for this group. They did 5 on Danny Robinson's Everlast record label. You know their first release, probably their biggest hit. It was called Desiree, and this is their 5th and final release, and probably hardest to find, I would have to say, of all their releases. It features Joe Greer on lead, and he wrote this tune, or co-wrote it with the label owner, or well, I guess. But anyways, from 1958, going out to Nat Papagallo. These are the charts on Everlast, and their tune called My Diane.
My darling, can't you see that you were meant to and understand why I want to be your lover man. Love you, my
As by request for Nat Papagallo there, the great charts. Joe Greer on lead there, 1958 on the Everlast record label. My Diane is the name of the tune as we continue here on the Vinyltreasure Show. We stay in the year of 1958, and up next, a request from my number one California listener, Matey Campboy. And I really don't know anything about this record. Amnon, maybe if you know some information about this. I know it's on George Gollner's TG record label. Of course, TG Records probably best known for the Clusters, Darling Can't You Tell. But this group is called The Three Notes. I'm guessing they're a trio. Okay, it's got to be a trio. But it's from September of 1958, and it's by request for Matey Campboy. The Three Notes on TG. Give a listen to their tune. It's called Bertha, My Girl.
Bertha, my girl, 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 girl. I love you so. Whoa, 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 whoa. Never let you go, 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 go. Bertha, my girl. Bertha, my girl, 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 girl. I love you so. Whoa, 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 whoa. Never let you go, 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 go. Bertha, my girl. Whoa, there will come a time in the life of every boy when one and only one girl will do. Whoa, I love you so, and somehow I know my one and only one girl is you. Oh, Bertha, Bertha, girl, 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 girl. I love you so. Whoa, 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 whoa. Never let you go, 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 go. Bertha, my girl. Whoa, there will come a time in the life of every boy when one and only one girl will do. Whoa, I love you so, and somehow I know my one and only one girl is you. Oh, Bertha, my girl, 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 girl. I love you so. Whoa, 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 whoa. Never let you go, 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 go. Bertha, my girl.
As by request from my number one California listener, Matey Campboy. Matey, when you stump two advanced collectors in the chat room, that's pretty good. That to being Nick and George. They never heard that record. You guys never heard that record on the TG record label? I liked the record. It wasn't cheap. I mean, I wouldn't, it's, relatively not really expensive. It's not really a couple $100 for the record, but where do you see it? It's very hard. Really, we're hard 45, but that's the Three Notes. That's by request for Matey, September 1958 on the TG record label. Bertha, My Girl I was going to say My Love, but it's My Girl. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Let's continue here, and let's go back with a request for Christian, this girl group from the Bronx. You all know they had their biggest hit, I think, was called Maybe. That was their big hit. It came out on George Gollner's N record label, but Christian requested their 5th of 11 releases on the N record label, and this was the follow-up to their song I Love You So, and it was co-written by the lead singer. Her name is Arlene Smith. This charted regionally. This was number 13 on WGES in Chicago, Illinois. We go back to June of 1958. By Request for Christian, the Great Chantels. The Chantels on N with Arlene Smith on lead, and a song entitled Pray or Pray.
I'm just a lonely girl in love. When I pray, one that I love, I fall on my knees, Lord above. I'm hoping He'll listen to my prayer for love. He doesn't love me, not at all. He fills my hopes just to let them fall. I'm hoping you'll hear my prayer for love. Dear Lord, to you I am praying. Hear all my pleas. Listen to what I'm saying. Send me someone to love. When I pray, one that I love, I fall on my knees, Lord above. I'm hoping He'll answer my prayer for love. I'm just a lonely girl in
As By Request for Christian, those are the Chantels. Pray-E is the name of the tune, because she says prayer, but it's Pray-E. That is the name of the tune. The Great Chantels with Arlene Smith on lead on the George Goldner's End record label, June 1958 release. That's on the gray vinyl press out of radio station WPEP, which is where I got that one, which is, I think, a Maine station out of Maine, if I'm not mistaken. And I also had that styrene white press copy, the white label copy anyway, so I decided to feature the vinyl press. Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. We do it every Saturday from 10 to 1 a.m. We are in the year 1958, and here's a request for listener Tom Shaughnessy, a great two-sided 45 out of New York City. It's on the Kane label, Kane. Now, this group consisted of David Cox, Herbie Hancock, Jerry Hayward, Robert Leake, and James McCauthen. And collectively, they were known as the Five Crystals. And the tune was written by Dossie Terry, who also has some releases on his own on different labels. I have him on King, I know that. But this one, by request for Tom Shaughnessy, October 59. We move into 59 with the Five Crystals on Kane. It's called Hey Landlord.
Hey, landlord. Hey, landlord. Hey, landlord. Holes all in my floor. When you gonna fix that door? I just can't take it no more. Hey, landlord. Is that faucet leaking? Listen to my
As by request for Tom Shaughnessy there, the Five Crystals. Hey Landlord on the Kane record label, October 1959. I thought I said David Cox. I shouldn't have said Herbie Cox. I said Herbie Hancock. And I guess when you hear David Cox and Herbie Hancock together, maybe you can get Herbie Cox of the Cleftones. That can easily be done. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. We continue here, and here's another request for young collector Christian. And I was contemplating if I should play the original release on Motown #1 or play a nice mint copy on the Chess label, which I have, because I decided to feature my rough copy of this because it is so rare to find on the Motown record label. But we go to Detroit, Michigan with this request for Christian, as he requested the Miracles with their first release on the Motown record label. Actually, this is the first release on the Motown record label, but the record was later licensed out to Leonard Chess, and Chess put it out nationally. But locally in Detroit, it came out on the Pink Motown label, and I won my copy of this from a West Coast collector many, many years ago. I think his name was Mike Pecos. I think that's who it was, if I'm not mistaken. Reed, have you ever dealt with Mike Pecos out in California? I think he was a big Motown collector. I still have the receipts. I kept all my receipts. But anyway, let's go back to March 1959, because this record was released only locally in Detroit. So a lot of the people in Detroit, when they heard this record, they went out and bought it, and they got it on the Motown label. These are the Miracles, of course, with Smokey Robinson on lead, and it's a great tune. I hope I don't get a copyright strike on this. I don't think I will. But anyway, this is going out to Christian. The Miracles from March of 59 on the Motown label, their classic tune. It's called Bad Girl. I apologize in advance for the scratches, but it's a rare 45 for Christian.
She's not a bad girl because she made me see how love could be. But she's a bad girl because she wants to be free.
by request for Christian there, the great Miracles. Smokey Robinson and the Miracles there, March 1959. I apologize in advance for that G copy, really G copy that I didn't really pay a lot of money for on the Motown record label. Bad Girl, Berry Gordy Jr.'s first release on the Motown record label. It must have been a DJ copy. Somebody wrote Smash on it. I don't know if it was a big smash. Maybe in Detroit it did well, I'm sure. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And on the last 50 show, I featured a very rare 45 by a group called the Teen Kings, a.k.a. the Del Rays. It was on Grover Barber's B label out of Reading, Pennsylvania. The side I featured was called That's a Teenage Love, and it featured Walter Buster Lockman on lead. I think it was a listener, Nick Nicola and Darrell Letts. They said, Johnny G, can you flip the 45 over? So we're going to flip it over here for Darrell and Nick. February 59, another rare 45. This one, actually, no, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I'm sorry, folks. I missed the girl group thing. Girl group record here. I went out of these tings are really getting to my ear. Anyway, actually, I have a girl group sound up next. It's on Donald Shaw's Neptune label, Neptune Records out of Newark, New Jersey. And I do like both sides of this 45, Nick. You're right, a great two-sider. And I'm going to feature the up-tempo side tonight, written by the lead singer of the group. Her name is Joanne Garland. This one from September 59. They're called the Del Rios. The Del Rios on Neptune. And this is the up-tempo side. It's called Wait, Wait, Wait. Girl group sounds here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. They're called the Del Rios. The Del Rios, September 59 release on the Neptune label. Wait, Wait, Wait is the name of the tune with Joanne Garland. She's on lead. I need their other release. They have another on the Neptune label. Actually, it's not a Neptune subsidiary, Earth Records. That's the one I needed. I was talking to Greg about that record. That record has gone up way in price, by the way. I think one sold for like $1,000 recently on the Earth label by Joanne and the Del Rios, but the same group and a great tune. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. We continue here. Now here's that Teen Kings 45. I'm not going to announce it again, but it's from February 59. The A-side was called That's a Teenage Love. Let's give a listen to the flip. This is for Darrell and Nick, the Teen Kings on B. It's called Tell Me If You Know. As going out to Nick and Daryl, their February 59 release, Rare 45 by the Teen Kings on the B label, Tell Me If You Know. Tell me if you know all these 45s I'm featuring tonight. If I stumped you or gave you something you have never heard before, that is a win for Johnny G. Let's continue here as we go to Brooklyn, New York, this time with another request for Christian. He requested David Campanella and the Del Chords. He was 15 years old at the time, David Campanella, when he was singing with this group. And he was the son of baseball player Roy Campanella, but Dave is not on lead. The lead singer on this is George Kalfkos, and he co-wrote this song with Dave Campanella. You will hear Dave Campanella at the end of the song. He comes in at the very end of the song. But anyway, this is by request for Christian, October 1959. David Campanella and the Del Chords on the Kane label. We go back to that Kane label, same label as the Five Crystals, and the song is called Everything's That Way.
Please say you want me, you know I love you so. If you say that you'll be mine, my heart I would glow. Dear, I care. Say this love's just ours to share. Darling, when we're dancing and you're so close to me, how I wish this could go on into eternity. When you're in love, I guess everything's that way. When I look into your eyes, then I finally realize that I love you and you love me. Please say, darling, that you belong to me. In school we walk together hand in hand through the hallways. Do you also think inside you this go on always? When you're in love, I guess everything's that way. When I look into your eyes, then I finally realize that I love you and you love me. Please say, darling, that you belong to me. In school we walk together hand in hand through the hallways. Do you also think inside could this go on always? When you're in love, I guess everything's that way. Thoughts made a mountain, the sky and the tree. It ain't you, dear, just for me. I'm in love with you with all my heart. That's the way it's got to be. Please, baby, say we'll never part.
October 1959 release there, but for David Campanella and the Del Chords. That's by request for young Christian. That's on the Kane label. Everything's That Way is the name of the tune. The flip side made popular by Gus Gossard, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Actually, that's the long title. That record comes out two ways. I have them both, but I think the flip of this is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That's the That's the first press. Anyway, Johnny G here on a Saturday evening as we continue here. And, excuse me, here is a request for listener Cheryl Morgan. Thank you, Cheryl, for your email. And so sorry for the passing of your mom. But thank you for tuning in to the Vinyl Treasure Show and your requests, because Cheryl requested this great group out of Baltimore, Maryland. Began recording back in 1953 for the Jax label, JAX Records. Records, but recorded under different names like Bobby Hall and the Kings, the Four Kings, the Ramblers, much later on as Little Hooks and the Kings, and then just the plain old Kings, which I think is on the majority of their releases. But they recorded on so many different labels too. This one's on the RCA label, and this is their second of two for RCA, and it features Adolphus Holcomb on lead. This is by request for Cheryl Morgan. These are the Kings from June 1959 on RCA. It's called Your Sweet Love for Cheryl.
If I had your love, how sweet life would be. And if I could only hold you, then my life would be complete. And if you come to me and tell me you will be mine, if I could hold your hand and you tell me that I'm your man, and if I could only hold you, no telling what I would do. And if you come to me and tell me you will be mine, if I hold your hand and you tell me that I'm your man, and if I only hold you, no telling what I would do. And if you come to me and tell me you will be mine.
As by special request for Cheryl Morgan. Those are the Kings with Adolphus Holcomb on lead. June 1959, the second of two on the RCA record label, Your Sweet Love. They're liking that one there in the YouTube chat room. Let's continue here as we move into 1960. We go out to Los Angeles, California for a request for Nikki V. Got to say hello to Nikki V out in California. This group here first recorded as the Gladiators on the Dig label in 1957. Then they changed their name much later on to the Glens, I guess. This one here on the Latini record label out of Los Angeles, California. And the members of this group were Carl White, Cleo White, Billy Mann, and the lead singer on this, Renee Beard. Of course, Renee Beard was also the brother of Little Rascals star Matthew Stymie Beard, and he's on lead on this one. This is from September 1960. This is by request for Nikki V. The Glens on Latini. It's called A Little Less Talk.
A little less talk and a little more action, please. Well, when we take a walk, a little more hugging and a squeeze. 'Cause baby, I've been missing your hugging and your kissing. All I do
action, please. Well, now you talk all the doggone time. Oh yeah. Well, you about to make me lose my mind. Well, when you waste the moonlight is such a crime. Well, you got to be so talkative all the doggone time. Well, now kiss me and caress me, well, baby, let's not tease. A little less talk and a little more action, please.
As by request for Nikki V there, those are the Glens, September 1960 on the Latini label. That is the intended A-side of the 45. A Little Less Talk is the name of the tune. This was re-released in 1961 on the Sudden label. Of course, Johnny G has both of those. Let's continue here. I put a cough drop in my mouth as I had the air conditioning on all day, so it has been affecting me. Yes, it has. But let's continue here. Let's go to Harlem, New York now with a request for Nick Nicola. This great group called the Vocaliers started back in 1952 on Bobby Robinson's Red Robin Records. But let's fast forward all the way up to 1960 with this revamped Vocaliers group, and it's on Danny Robinson's Vest label. And this one from 1960, it features Caesar Williams. He's on lead here. This is by request for Nick. This is a great tune by the Vocaliers, 1960 on Vest. It's called The Night is Quiet.
The night is quiet. I have no doubts. I'm with my baby, sitting on the couch. She said she
Ah, what a great request there. That's for Nick Nicola, the Vocaliers. Vocaliers, 1960, a great tune on the Vest label. Caesar Williams, he's on lead. The Night is Quiet. And we're going to flip that 45 over next week, so come on back here to the Vinyl Treasure Show. We still are in the year 1960, and we have requests for my number one California listener. That's Matey Campboy, a rare 45 out of, is it Houma? How do you pronounce Houma, Daryl? Houma. Is that Houma, Louisiana? And it's the only release for this group on the Rustone record label. They're called the Scotch Tones. Also not an easy record to find. My labels, I could use a better copy of this. It plays okay, but I got it a long, long time ago. But it's from July of 1960. They're called the Scotch Tones on the Rustone label out of Louisiana. This is going out to Matey Campboy. It's called Do You Have the Right?
Do wah wah wah, do wah wah wah, do wah 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 wah, do wah wah wah, do wah wah wah, do wah 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 wah. Do you have the right to tear us apart? Do you have the right to break my poor heart? Do you have the right to treat me this way? What can I do to make you stay? Do you have the right to make me cry? Do you have the right to say goodbye? But if you have the right to do all these things, then darling, tell me, why did you take my ring? Someday I'll have the right to do all these things, and that will be the day you want to wear my ring. But if you find you love me with all of your might, that will be the day that I'll have the right. Do you have the right to make me cry? Or do you have the right to say goodbye? But if you have the right to do all these things, darling, tell me, why did you take my ring? Do wah wah wah, do wah wah wah, do wah 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 wah, do wah wah wah, do wah wah wah, do wah 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 wah.
That's a great request there, Matey. Thank you for requesting the Scotch Tones. July 1960, a rare record out of Louisiana on the Rustone label. Do You Have the Right is the name of the tune. Johnny G has the right every Saturday from 10 to 1 a.m. to play my original vinyl 45s. No stinking MP3s or CDs, just original vinyl. And you get to see all the cool labels that I hold up to the... You can actually see original copies, not photographs, as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And we head out to Muncie, Indiana for this next 45 on the Poor Boy label. And it's a request for George Tompkins. This is a King Custom Press, as they would call it, and all the group members are mentioned on the label, and the song written by Sam Dargo, who happens to be the lead singer. This is by request for George, February 1960, the originals on Poor Boy. It's called Lend Me Your Ear.
Lend me your
I'll send you to heaven by whispering to you, I love you so. I love you so. Well, my darling, lend me your ear. I want you to hear just what I have to say. I have to Yes, I love you, darling. Oh, so very much. But if the time should come when we should part, I hope that you will always be so very happy.
February 1960 release there for the Originals. The Originals spelled Originals, because there are a bunch of Originals group. That one there on the Poor Boy label by request for George Tompkins, Lend Me Your Ear. Nice cha-cha tune. Johnny G definitely likes to cha-cha, and Johnny G very rarely features big hits here on the Vinyltreasure show, but once in a while I will play a hit, especially if I like the record. And I do like this record. It's actually one of my favorite hit records by Marv Johnson. This tune written and produced by Berry Gordy Jr. And this is like really, I guess right at the beginning, the starting point of Motown Records, but this was this artist's follow-up tune to All the Love I Got, and it's a request for listener Emnon, but this song was a pretty top 20 hit on Billboard. Actually, it was number 20 both on Billboard and Cashbox. It did number 12 on the Billboard R&B chart. But and this artist would later on work for Berry Gordy Jr. in his Motown empire. But this is a request for Emnon, July 1960. Mr. Marv Johnson on United Artists. This is a hit, and I'm good for one hit on a 3-hour show. It's called You've Got to Move. Two Mountains, going out to Emnon.
Some time ago, I told you that I needed you. It hurt me so when you said our romance was through. I loved you long, you've done me wrong, 'cause this is what you said to me. You've got to move to mountains, drain a river dry, swim the deepest ocean, pull a star from the sky. And if you do all this to prove your love is true, maybe then I'll fall in love with you. I tried so hard, 'cause all my love for you was true. It broke my heart. My best was not enough for you. Whenever I asked you for a kiss, you always told me this. You've got to move to mountains, drain a river dry, swim the deepest ocean, pull a star from the sky. And if you do all this to prove your love is true, maybe then I'll fall in love with you. So bad, I wanna cry. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. You've got to move to mountains, drain a river dry, swim the deepest ocean, pull a star from the sky. And if you do all this to prove your love is true, maybe then I'll fall in love with you. You've got to move to mountains, drain a river dry, you've got to swim the ocean, pull a star from the sky. And if you do all this to prove your love is true, maybe then I'll fall in love.
Hits here on the Vinyl Treasure Show by request for listener Amnon. That's Marv Johnson. Well, I guess, Reed, I would say that it was more Motown related versus saying that they're all Motown records, I guess. You would say Motown related in a box if I were going to do it, I guess. But that's You've Got to Move Two Mountains on United Artists. That's by Marv Johnson. July 1960 release going out to Amnon. Now let's stay in 1960 with a request for Joe Shacatano, this group out of Brooklyn, New York. Originally, this group was an instrumental band recording for Morris Levy's Roulette record label, but then when they signed to Ribbon Records, they had a big had a big hit that I'm sure many of you know in 1959 called You Were Mine. But let's give a listen to their third here on the Ribbon record label, requested by Joe Shacatano. It features Richie Adams on lead. This one from March 1960. Give a listen to the Fireflies on Ribbon, going out to Joe Shacatano. It's called Because of My Pride.
Saw him last night, holding your hand, sharing your kisses. I understand, and though our love is over, I still hurt inside, but you'll never know of it, never know of it, because of my pride, never know of it. Couldn't believe what you had done, seeing him hold you. I knew he'd won, and though our love is over, I still hurt inside, but you'll never know of it, never know of it, because of my pride. When did I lose you? Why couldn't our love last? What wouldn't I give now to change the past? I'll find another, hope she'll be true, try to forget you. I know that won't do, for though our love is over, I still hurt inside, but you'll never know of it, never know of it, because of my pride, never know of it, because of my pride.
As by request for Joe Shacatano, the Fireflies. Richie Adams on lead there, March 1960. That's their third release on the Ribbon record label, Because of My Pride. I remember when I was working at Sony Music in the digital accounting area, my boss said, because I was doing a show, I began the show back in 2005, not here on YouTube though. So when I was working for Sony, my boss, I think he's retired now. He's somewhere, I think, in his mid-70s now. Maybe he's 75. And he said to me, Johnny, can you? I want to make a request on your show. Do you have Because of My Pride by the Fireflies? And I was like, where do you know? How do you know that record? Here we are talking about 1970s, Columbia releases. You're talking to me about this record. Sure, I'll play it for you. And then he played guitar. He was playing guitar. He was a guitar instructor. And once in a while, I still communicate with Brian, but he has been retired, and hopefully I'll be retired soon. But we used to talk about music all the time. We talk about. We actually had a code name. We used to call one of the girls, and her last name was Coco. And I said, and then he would say to me, Johnny, do you know a lead singer with the last name Coco? I said, don't quiz me like this. I says, you can't stump me. You mean Lenny Coco? So she had the code name of Lenny. I mean, I forget her name. She was a nice girl. At least she was always nice to me. When I worked for Sony Music for 6 years, it was a lot of fun to do that. It was. But anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And on the June 21st show this year, I played a request for Joe Shacatano by a group called the Imaginations out of Wantagh, Long Island. Joe requested The Search Is Over, which was the B-side of that 45. I'm sure many of you bought that record or might have bought that record back in 1961 for this side, which was requested by Darrell Letts, as this charted number 18 on WABC out of New York City. It features Frank Mancuso on lead. This one from April 61. This is going out to Darrell, The Imaginations on Music Makers. It's called Good Night, Baby.
So long.
So long, good night. So long, trying to leave you now. Boom, 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 did it, did it, did it. Yep, yep, did it, did it, did it, did it.
April 61 release there for the Imaginations by request for Darrell Letts. Frank Mancuso on lead there. The Music Maker label, Good Night Baby, is the name of the tune. It's not Good Night Baby, not yet, as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Up next, a request for Nick Nicola. This is on Buddy Caldwell's Len record label. We go back to one of his labels. This group is, I think they're from Washington, D.C. I didn't really get a chance to double check on the information here, but I'm wondering if this group is the same group, George, maybe you know, that recorded on Jerry Blaine's Josie record label. I'm not sure, possibly. But Charlene says, well, yeah, because the lead singer, the writer of this is Eddie Day, D-A-Y-E, and he wrote this tune, and it's from 1961. This is by request for Nick Nicola, the 4 bars on Len Records. It's called Just Bid Me Farewell.
Just bid me farewell, darling, there's nothing more for you to say. Just bid me
Those are the 4 bars by request for Nick Nicola. Their 1961 release came out on Buddy Caldwell's Len record label, Eddie Day. He's the lead singer. Just Bid Me Farewell. Not farewell, not yet. Not yet. I still got some requests to feature here, like this next one here. This is for listener Tom Shaughnessy. First time I ever heard this song, believe it or not, was on the Gus Gossard show back in the early 1970s. I have no information on the group. They're I have to assume they're out of New York City, because this is on the Blast record label, and label out of New York City. Vinny Catalano's label, I think. But the flip of this is a killer ballad. It's called The Trial of My Love. But Tom requested the up-tempo side from 1961. And you don't want to ever get infested by these type of insects. But believe it or not, there is a song about it. There's actually a few songs about insects. I don't think I can do a whole show about it. But anyway, Tom requested the Court Jesters from 1961 on the Blast label, and their tune called Roaches is going out to Tom Shaughnessy.
Don't leave your food on the table.
Why, honey, why?
Because of those
Roaches, crawling up your floor. Roaches, crawling in and out your door. Roaches, eat your food and want more. Roaches, crawling up your wall. Roaches, crawling up and down the hall. Roaches, eat your food and that ain't all. Don't you leave your food on the table. Why? It's because of those crawling bugs. They will eat up all of your food and go hopping and tipping and crossing for more. Roaches, crawling up your floor. Roaches, crawling in and out the door. Roaches, eat your food and want more. Don't you leave your food on the table. Why? It's because of those crawling bugs. They will eat up all of your food and go hopping and tripping and crossing for more. Roaches, crawling up your wall. Roaches, crawling up and down the hall. Roaches, eat your food and that ain't all. Roaches.
As by request for Tom Shaughnessy there, those are the those are the Court Jesters. The Court Jesters. It's actually the B-side of the 45, a song entitled Roaches from on the Blast record label. The flip side is a song entitled The Trial of My Love. That's an excellent tune. We're going to get that one on next week's show. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And this who is this? This is actually, okay, I totally forgot. This is a request for listener Emnon, and we go to New Haven, Connecticut for this group, and they're called the Five Satins. The Five Satins. I always liked this record here by the Five Satins. This one from 1961. It was co-written by the lead singer here. His name is Fred Paris on Al Silver's Ember label. I'm featuring the copy. It's a West Coast press, which looks pretty cool. They kept the old style label here on the East Coast. Ember was already the black label with the log with one red flame. They used the old style multicolor label out in California, still at this time with this release, January 61. But this is going out to Emnon, the Five Satins, Fred Paris on leave, January 61 on Ember. Their tune is called Wishing Ring.
If I had a wishing ring,
As by request for Amnon there. Those are the Five Satins. The Five Satins from January 61, song entitled Wishing Ring. It sounded like that needle was like floating on the top of the record. I have to check that out there for that one there. Anyway, Johnny G here on a Saturday evening spinning original vinyl 45s. Let's continue here. And here's a request for a new listener to the Vinyl Treasure Show, E. Seymour. E. Seymour, tuning into the Vinyl Treasure Show, requested the Coasters, whose last big hit on the Atco label was called Little Egypt, almost a top 20 record for them, but they would have 12 more releases on the Atco label, and unfortunately none of them hit the national charts, but E. Seymour requested the group's 20th on the Atco label. It's a Lieber and Stoller pen tune first done by the Isley Brothers a year earlier in 1961 on Atlantic, but this is a version by the Coasters. It features Billy Guy on lead by request for E. Seymour, February 62, the Coasters on Atco, and their tune called Teach Me How to Shimmy.
Mama, you taught me how to do the bop. You taught me how to boogie real slow, yeah. You taught me how to quit and you taught me how to stop. Mama, teach me one thing more. Come on and teach me how to shimmy like you and Daddy do. Teach me how to shimmy so I can shimmy too. Mama, there's gonna be a dance tonight. You gotta teach me double quick, yeah. And mama, if I can't do it right, you know a chico's gonna steal my chick. Come on and teach me how to shimmy like you and Daddy do. Teach me how to shimmy so I can shimmy too. But mama, hurly-gurly ain't with it. My little girl, she loves to wiggle and shake, and there's the only one thing gonna get it. Now teach me how to shimmy like you and Daddy do. Teach me how to shimmy so I can shimmy too. Teach me how to shimmy like you and Daddy do. Teach me how to shimmy like you and Daddy do. Teach me how to shimmy like you and Daddy do.
As by request for E. Seymour there, requested the Coasters, Billy Guy and the Coasters there, February 1962 on the Atco record label. That is their 20th of 29 releases on Atco Records. Teach Me How to Shimmy, originally done by the Isley Brothers. Let's stay in 1962 now with a request for Evan Blatt. This group is out of Philadelphia, PA. It's on Larry Kerrin's Mask record label. Prior to this release, two members of this group were members of the Parliaments on the Len label from 1958. It was James Frazier and Milton Harling. So by request for Evan Blatt, this one from 1962, they're called the Casinos. The Casinos on the Mask label. Their tune is called I'm Falling.
I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling. I'm falling forever. I will love you, darling, and that's a good time. I want you to be mine, all mine.
As by request for Evan Black, can you believe that cry? Did that sound like a natural cry to you listeners? It did to me, I guess. But those are the Casinos. That's a cool tune from 1962 on the Mask label out of Philadelphia. Larry Kerrins' Mask Records. I'm Falling is the name of the tune. Johnny G, not falling yet, but I'm falling for you, the listeners. Let's continue here. And here is a request for my number one California listener, Mady Campoy, listening over in California. Got to say hi to Mady. But she requested a group called the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers. Originally, they were the backing group to singer Freddie Faulkner. Freddie Faulkner had a release on the Swan label called Cigarettes and Matches. They backed him up on that one. And this Freddie Faulkner was also a member of the Illusions on the Malley label, and he wrote both sides of this record for the Rockefellers, this is on Frank Slay's Southern Sound label. And this one from April of 1962, by request for Mady Campoy, the Rockefellers on Southern Sound. It's called Dear Someone.
Dear someone, I just can't stand this much longer. Your willpower is much stronger. Or don't you love me after all? Love me after all. Dear someone, you're driving me to disaster. Are you just pretending your laughter? Or don't you love me after all? Love me after all. If life was a world of dreams, I could dream you back, yes, to me, darling, and live happily ever after. So happily ever after. But it's not a dream. Can't you see, my darling? Dear someone, please reconsider our love, dear. Don't make me shed all of the tears. Or don't you love me after all? Maybe I don't care.
Whoops, as by request for Mady Campoy there, the Rockefellers. Rockefellers, April 1962 on the Southern Sound record label. Dear Someone is the name of the tune. The flip side's a cool up-tempo. It's called Strike It Rich, as most of us would like to do, that is for sure. Let's continue here. We are now in Vinyl Treasure Overtime, and I can't tell you much about this next 45, but it's a request for George Tompkins. This is on a label called AJ Records. I'm guessing it's out of New York City. Looks like the kind of like the Deb label. There's a green Deb label, and that's what it looks like. But I have no information on this group. Maybe Amnon, you know something about this group. They're called the Tangiers. It's a great record from July of 1962. This is by request for George. The Tangiers. It's on A-J Records. The Tangiers with their tune called The Plea.
I woke up this morning
So now I like that song there by the Tangiers by request for George Tompkins, July 1962 on the AJ record label, song entitled The Plea. Let's continue here. Got to get through these requests here. And here is a request for Tom Shaughnessy. This group is from, is it Cambria Heights, Queens? Did I say that right? And this is on the Chelsea label out of New York City. Lead singer of this group is Mike Ferrigno, and he was the co-writer of this tune. This one here from, actually all the group members get credit on this, but this is from March 63. We move into 63 now. These are the Fabulaires on the Chelsea label, going out to Tom. It's called Lonely Days, Lonely Nights.
Lonely days.
By request for Tom Shaughnessy. We'll also send it out to Mr. Dave the Rave in our YouTube chat room there. Dave the Rave, our Sunday night DJ here on Top Shelf Oldies from 9 to midnight right here on Top Shelf. Tune in to Dave tomorrow evening for some cool 60s 45s out of his collection. Sometimes he'll play records like that too. He will for sure. Johnny G. Oh, those are the Fabulaires, by the way, March 1963 on the Chelsea label. Lonely Days, Lonely Nights. Not when you tune into the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are here in overtime here, so let's continue here. And here's a request for Matey Campboy. Another request for Matey Campboy for this duo. You know the duo. They had a big hit on the Big Top record label in 1962 with What's Your Name. That's talking about Don and Juan. That's Roland Trone and Claude Johnson. Claude was a member of the Genies of Who's That Knocking fame. But here's their fourth final release on the Big Top record label. This is just right before they signed with Mala Records in 1963. This charted number 12 on KFXM in San Bernardino, California. This is by request from Matey Campboy, April 63. Give a listen to Don and Juan on Big Top. It's called Is It All Right If I Love You, for Matey.
Someday, somewhere, you'll find you're gonna be mine.
As by request from 80 Campboy, Don and Juan. Don and Juan, that's their final release on the Big Top record label. Is It All Right If I Love You? That one there from April, 1963. Let's stay in 1963. Here's a rare 45 on Vince Rago's Ritchie record label. I think it was the June 19th show, June 19th, 2021, played a request for Nick Nicola by a group called the Versatones. The Versatones. And this one here from January 1963, the side was called Will She Return? I think, Nick, you asked, you said the flip was good too, so we're going to play the flip side of this before we file it back down. We'll send it out to you here. Vince Rago's Ritchie record label, January 63, the Versatones on Ritchie. And the song is called Hold Me Lover, parenthesis, Party After 7.
Hold me, Mr. Lover, I don't wanna go home. Dear, 1, 2, you, 3 kisses I wrote, didn't say 4, and I'll be over to prove it at 6. You're sweet, you're neat, you're my kind of treat. Oh, what does say now? I'm on my way now, it'll be me at your front doorbell. Believe my little melody, 6 will be making some harmony. Oh yeah, hugging should be the show. Hold me, Mr. Lover, I don't wanna go. Dear, 1, 2, you, 3 kisses I throw, didn't say 4, and I'll be over to prove it at 6. You're sweet, you're neat, you're my kind of treat. Oh, what does I say now? I'm on my way now, it'll be me at your front doorbell. Believe my little melody, 6 will be making some harmony. Oh yeah, hugging should be the show. Hold me, Mr. Lover, I don't wanna go this 7. Oh, after 8. Oh, what does I say now? Oh, what does I say now? Oh, what does I say now? Hold me, Mr. Lover, I don't wanna go home.
As by request for Nick Nicola, the Versatones, a rare 45 on Vince Rago's Ritchie record label, Hold Me Lover, parentheses, the Party After 7. That one there from January 1963. We move into 1964 now, and on the last 50s, early 60s show, played a request for Christian Rains by the raised by the Craftones. The Craftones on the Medieval record label. They were earlier recorded as the Beachcombers back in 1962 on the Big Al record label. The same tune called Memories. They re-recorded it for Medieval Records in 1964. Then Christian also requested the flip, as did listener Tom Shaughnessy. So we're going to send the flip side out to them. This one from 1964, the Craftones on the Medieval label. It's called Everybody's Got a Home But Me.
As I roll by the house with the windows lighted up, looking pretty as a Christmas tree.
As by request for Christian and Tom Shaughnessy, the Kraft Tones there, the Kraft Tones from 1964 on the Medieval record label. Everybody's got a home but me. As we got 3 more 45s to go before we sign off here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And here is a girl group sound here as we go back to Philadelphia, PA here. This one here for listener Amnon. It's the second of 7. No, it can't be. It's the second of 7 on the Swan record label for the 3 Degrees. The 3 Degrees. This one produced by Richard Barrett. Richard Barrett, he was the lead of the Valentines, and he wrote this tune along with Norman Johnson. General Johnson was the lead singer of The Showman. They also recorded on the Swan record label. And this one, by request for Amnon, we go back to April 1965 for the 3 Degrees on the Swan label. It's called Just Right for Love, going out to Amnon.
Those stars that wink at me while you hold me tight here in the night. It's just right for
Nice girl group sound there by request for listener Amnon, the 3 Degrees. Their second of 7 on the Swan label, April 1965. Just Right for Love. Yes, Bobby in Texas. That's General Johnson co-wrote that tune there. And yes, of the chairman of the board of Give Me Just a Little More Time, but also of the Showman. 2 more 45s to go before Johnny G signs off here as we go out to Los Angeles, California for this rare 45 on the Carmen label. And this one by request for Nick Nicola. This one from May of 64. They're called the El Domingos, written by Eddie Davis. I think he's the lead singer on this, if I'm not mistaken. The El Domingos on Carmen, going out to Nick Nicola. The song is called Are You Ready, parentheses, to Say I Do. Rare, California.
Are you ready to say I do? Are you ready to love? Baby, are you ready?
That's by request for Nick Nicola there, Rare 45 out of Los Angeles, California, on the Carmen record label. The El Domingos there, May 1964, song entitled Are You Ready to Say I Do? That's a Jerry Diaz special to Johnny G. Bang me on that record. He did. But anyway, Johnny G is ready. It's time to say goodnight. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 45s out of my collection. You want to get in touch with me, send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. Lots of requests. Thank you all for all your support of the show and all your comments during the week, listening to the archives. I got people going back to my old archives. There's a lot of archives on there. I think there's like 200 videos on there. That's a lot of hours. And I didn't see much as far as the copyright issue tonight, but there was a few. So I don't expect any problems, hopefully. But sometimes it's been taking longer for them to post the show for some reason. But anyway, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. Tonight, our closer, our last record here, is a request for my number one California listener, Mady Campoy. She requested this female artist out of Detroit, Michigan. Her first record was called Bye Bye Baby, but this is the B-side to her biggest hit. I'm sure many of you are familiar with her biggest number one hit, a national hit she had on the Billboard and Cashbox charts, called My Guy. But it's the flip side of that record. The flip side, which is written by Andre Williams and Eddie Holland and produced by Andre Williams. This one from March 64, Miss Mary Wells on Motown Records. I have it on a promo. I showed you the promo there. And it's the B-side to My Guy. It's called Oh Little Boy, parentheses, What Did You Do to Me? That's our closer tonight for Mady Campoy. Thank you all for tuning into the show tonight, and I'll be back next Saturday at 10 o'clock. But tune in tomorrow evening here on Top Shelf Oldies, topshelfoldies.org, for Dave the Raven, his Relics and Rarities show. It all begins at 9 o'clock, 9 to midnight. Original vinyl Dave features, mostly vinyl. Say 90% Dave. You say 90% in vinyl, or maybe a little more. Yeah, we'll say that, maybe 95%. But tune in to Dave. He's got a great show. Starts tomorrow at 9 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies. I'll be back next Saturday at 10 o'clock, 10 to 1 a.m. Actually, we're cutting off. Well, listen, I cut it down 15 minutes. That's pretty good, but that's going to do it for tonight. And thank you, Charlene, for all your help. And thank you, all the listeners, for tuning in and all your correspondence. If you're new to the Vinyl Treasure Show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need to get it up so they don't give me, if you subscribe, I'll be able to be on, well, not that I want to be on longer, but maybe I'll be on more often, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you again, folks, for tuning in and sticking around, all you diehards here. But you can always go back to the archive and check it out, or if it's not up, you can go to vinyltreasures.net, because I always upload the stream show there, so you can check it out there. So that's going to do it, folks. Want everybody to have a safe and happy week. I'll see you next Saturday at 10. Just want to say, everybody, so long. It's for Mady.
Look at me, and it's only been a few days. I can't get rid of these heartaches you gave to me. High
Okay, folks, that's going to do it. You don't often hear that record. Maybe that's an interesting request. The Mary Wells B-side there. But let's show you. This is a rare 45 here on the Carmen label. I forget what Jerry Diaz sold this to me. But Reed, he's not cheap. But they are called the El Domingos out of California there. And I don't know. I've had it for a long time. I haven't bought a record from Jerry Diaz in a long time. It's got to be over 10 years or more. It has to be. It's been a while. I have to check my records. And here, my files. And here is the other one. This is the flip side. See, my guy is the A side. It's pretty kind of very simple promo. The Motown promos were kind of weird. They use so many different pressing plants. Reed, you probably know more about these things here. Oh, geez, I'm getting a. Why am I getting a copyright strike? I don't have it. I'm not playing a record. My voice? That's so weird. Maybe because I think it's because I'm on so long. Because I think they limit me to 3 hours. I think because I don't have enough subscribers. That's why it's important to get more subscribers. So I actually subscribe to a new letter, some oldie letter that gets sent out there. So we'll hope that that brings in more subscribers too. But anyway, but again, if you're a subscriber, you may get a notification because YouTube has been asking about my show. I know Joe Shacatano, he told me about it. So maybe if you get that, if you give me you can give me a bad review too if you think it's a bad show. That's be what it is. But anyway, thank you all for your support, and I hope to see you all next Saturday night. If you have a request, send it to me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. And again, thank you, Charlene, again for all your help. Everybody be safe. I'll see you next Saturday night. Stay well, everybody. Night. Bye-bye.